YouTube? It's your girl Hu'myaa, aka Maya, and today I'm gonna be doing a story time on how I found out I was pregnant. So, where should I start? Oh, y'all, I'm also doing a mukbang, eating curry chicken and white rice with some Lipton peach tea. So good. Alright, let me think. Alright, so I think it was like towards the end. I know it was like towards the end of October or whatever one day. And if y'all know me, then y'all know I used to love doing hookah. And this one day, I think my boyfriend had came home from work, and we was in the living room, and he was like, "Let's light the hookah." So I'm like, "All right, we can light the hookah." I light the hookah. I sit down on the floor. He playing the game. I'm laying on the couch next to him, or whatever, and we doing the hookah, and I'm watching TV. And I just noticed like it was something like this strange smell, and I'm just like, what is that smell? And I'm just like, that smells horrible. And I'm just like, and I just kept saying like, what is that smell? What is that smell? Mind you, I've been doing hookah for like, well, I got my hookah in September or the end of August. So from end of August till the end of October, I was doing my hookah every day, perfectly fine. Just one day, just a random one day that it just was smelling real bad, and I just was like, something ain't right. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, girl, you better not be pregnant. I feel so big, like, but I was like, girl, you better not be pregnant. And I text my friends like, yo, my hookah stink really bad, and I don't know why, but I got a feeling that I'm pregnant, and I hope I'm not. So then I'm like, all right, we put the hookah out, whatever, and I just wasn't feeling good at all. I wasn't feeling good, and I just was laying there. So eventually, I went upstairs to go like lay in the bed or whatever. And so I wasn't feeling good. I went to go lay in the bed. The next day, he had to work. I texted him when he was at work and was like, can you bring Chick-fil-A home on your break? Because I'm hungry or whatever. And so he brought the Chick-fil-A home, and I'm sitting downstairs with his mom, his uncle, his little brother, and I think his little cousin. And I was sitting at the dining room table, and I'm eating the Chick-fil-A. Mind you, I love Chick-fil-A. Since I known about Chick-fil-A, I go to Chick-fil-A. I used to go to Chick-fil-A every day. Probably twice a day, if I could. I mean, I can because I drive. But I warmed up to Chick-fil-A because it was kind of cold, because Chick-fil-A was like a good like 10 minutes from the house or whatever. It was like, it's like 10 minutes. I warmed up the food. I'm sitting at the dining room table, mind you. His mom is sitting like at the island eating, and I was at the table. I think his little brother was sitting at the table, and I was eating Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, this is nasty. And his mom looked, and she was like, it's nasty. And I'm like, yeah, it's nasty. And she like, Chick-fil-A good. And I'm like, for some reason, it's nasty today. So I think like, so right in there, I think his mom knew like I was pregnant, because she said she wanted to ask me, but she didn't ask me because his uncles was sitting there. Well, his uncle was sitting there or whatever. So then I went back upstairs. Like, you could tell I had a headache. You could tell I wasn't feeling good. I just was looking down, like sad and stuff. So then I went upstairs. I went back. He went to work. I went back to sleep. I wasn't feeling good like that the night before that day. So I texted him and was like, on your way home, can you stop at CVS and get a pregnancy test? So he texted me back, yeah. So he got off, I think, at like 7. And I believe I was laying down. I heard him come in the house. He came upstairs. So I'm like, where the pregnancy test? He like, I forgot it. So I'm like, now I'm irritated because like, I'm just trying to figure out if I'm pregnant or not. Honestly, I don't want to be, but I need to know. Low-key, I didn't want to know, but I wanted to know. So I text my friends like, y'all, I haven't been feeling good for the past 2 days, and let's just hope I'm not pregnant. What if I'm pregnant, y'all? And they like, what they was saying? They're like, oh my God, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, I'm scared. So then he was taking too long because I guess all his friends or some of his brothers and them had came and he had to walk the dog and everything. He was taking too long, so I caught attitude, y'all. When I tell y'all I don't get my way, I catch attitude quickly, which I need to stop doing. And so he outside. No. Did I go with him to store? Yeah, I did. So the first time, I'm like, because I have my own car. So he had the car key because he took my car to work. So I'm like, give me the car keys. I grabbed my wallet and I got in the car and I went to CVS. He wound up coming with me though because he didn't want me to go by myself. So we got to CVS. He went in. He got a pregnancy test. He came back. But we had got like, I actually got it. Hold up. I'm kind of disgusted because my food right here. So we went in there and got these pregnancy tests. Like the regular ones like this. It's the clear blue brand. Like the clear blue brand. But this one is like, it got like the line. Like it come up like the faded line. Like the cross and the one line. Or like the minus line and the other line. So then I went in the bathroom. As soon as I got back, I went in the bathroom. And I was using the bathroom. And I didn't want, like, I hurried up and peed on it, and I put the top on, and I turned it down, on, like, towards the sink, and I rinsed, like, the top off, and I put it on the sink. And then, I put it back in the plastic, like, I went back in the room, I put it in the plastic, and I put it on top of the headboard. So I told him, I'm like, come upstairs and look at the pregnancy test. So I'm just laying in the bed, and I'm, like, scared, like, nervous, my hands sweating, I'm just sweating, like, I'm scared. So I'm like, please say this joint is negative. Mind y'all, I didn't have a pregnancy scare before, but I took a pregnancy test a couple months ago because my menstrual was late, and I'm just like, this is not, or it's not a week or two, it was like three weeks, damn near a month late, so I hope I'm not pregnant. So, in that time, he was playing when he looked at the pregnancy test, and he just was like smiling and kept playing, and then I looked at it, and it was negative. But anyway, so he took this test out the wrapper and looked at it. He just was like just looking at it. And all I saw was like his cheeks just get like, he got chubby cheeks. All I saw was his cheeks get like real big. He just was like smiling. And I'm just like, boy, stop playing with me. Like, stop playing. Stop playing. So then I'm like, give it to me. He gave it to me, y'all. When I tell y'all, my heart dropped to my butt. Like, I looked at it and I'm looking at it. I'm like, mind y'all, it tell you what the thing is supposed to say, but the one line wasn't all the way in yet. So I'm looking at it. Mind y'all, I know how to read a damn pregnancy test. So I'm looking at it and I'm just like, what they trying to say? I don't get it. What are they trying to say? And he like, Maya, you know what they trying to say. And I'm just like, no, I don't. Then that shit, it was the plus sign and then the one line came. And I just was like, I looked at him and I was like, this not real. Let's go. We went back to the store. So we went back to the store. We put our shoes on. We drove back to the store. This time he made me go in to get the pregnancy test because he's like, I'm not about to keep going in there and keep getting pregnancy tests. And I just was here like 15 minutes ago. So then I went and got the digital ones that say pregnant, not pregnant. Y'all, it been, what, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, we're damn near in May. So it's been like 7 months. Yeah, it's been 7 months or whatever. The fuck? My bad, y'all. I thought the film was about to fall. 7 months. So the words, not on them no more. Like, it went away. If I would have made my video a little bit earlier, like back, they would have still been there. But so I took one of these, and I took one of these right after. He went back downstairs to play the game. I went upstairs and I went to the bathroom. I put it back in the plastic. Mind you, there's 2 that come in the box. So I took one out. I put it back in the plastic. I put it on top of the headboard. So I'm like, come see what it. I text him like, come see what it say. I'm scared. So then, like in my head, I'm like, bitch, you're pregnant. But then in reality, I'm like, no, you're not. So then he was taking too long to come upstairs. So I took out the plastic. I looked at it and it was said pregnant, and I just was like I had the I eat for ass face on. So then I took a picture of it and I sent it to him, and then he sent like this emoji. I forgot what emoji he sent or whatever. So then I was like, I was just sitting there and I just was laying there and I was just like, I wasn't sad, but I was sad because I'm just like, damn, like, I always said I would never have kids. I would be the aunt to have all the nieces and nephews or whatever the case may be, but I guess that wasn't the case or whatever. And I just was like, I was laying there for a little good minute. I was thinking about it, and I had this one left. I didn't like take it yet or whatever the case is. I didn't take the test yet. So then I'm like, I texted my friends in the group chat and was like, y'all, I'm pregnant. And they're like, no, you're not, or whatever. So I'm like, yes, I am. So then I sent it. Mind you, my nails was done at the time. So I sent it, and I'm like, look. Like, I made a boomy, and I sent it to them. And I'm like, look. They're like, that's not you. So then I sent a picture, like, of my fingernails. I'm like, with my face in it. I'm like, y'all, this is how my nails is now. Look at the video. My nails is the same. That's my pregnancy test. So then that's when they like, oh, what you gonna do, whatever the case may be. So I was like low-key scared, like I didn't know what I was gonna do, because I always said, like, I know this is bad and I shouldn't say it, but I always said, like, and I said it in a joking way, but like I always said, if I got pregnant, the baby had to go. I wasn't keeping it. The baby had to go, because I'm a stingy person. So for me to have to share my money and spend my money on somebody else, don't sit well with me. But whatever. So I think I called. Did I call my? Yes. So alright, this is how my sister, both of my sisters, and my parents found out. So I called my older sister on my dad's side, because we're real close. Like, I'm close with both of my sisters, but my sister on my dad's side is like my best friend. So I called her, and I was like, I put him in the camera, and I was like, and she was like, bitch. And then, but before I called her, I called my other sister, but my other sister didn't answer. So my other sister didn't answer her, I called her. So when she, in the middle of me talking to her, she like, bitch. I hung up on her, and I answered my other sister. So then I was like, what I say? I said, I think I told my other sister, I think I said, I'm pregnant. Or I want like this again, like in the camera or something like that with the pregnancy test. And she was like, you lying. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So then I hung up on her and called my other sister back. So my other sister's like, well, what you gonna do? This not there. I can't believe you're pregnant. This and that. Like, she wasn't mad, but she just was like, shocked. Because again, everybody expected, like, everybody thought I was gonna be like, never have kids. My older sister, I doubt she gonna have kids, but she don't want kids neither. But everybody thought, like, Maya would never get pregnant. She would never have kids, because I always said I don't want to have kids. I would rather be the aunt to have all the nieces and nephews and take them out, because having your own kid, just dealing with them alone. I got 4 nephews. Dealing with them alone is stressful. So to have a son or a daughter, it was just like, if I have a daughter, she'll have a smart ass mouth. Because I got a smart ass mouth, my sister got a smart ass mouth, my mom got a smart ass mouth. And it's just going to backfire on me, and I'm just going to be that mom that's just, like, irritated all the time because my daughter got a smart-ass mouth. And then if I got a son, I'm going to just have a badass son that's rough and running around. And no, I'm not ready to have no rough-ass son or no smart-mouth-ass daughter. So, after that, my sister just was like, what you going to do? Da, 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 da. So, at the moment, right then and there, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I feel like I knew what I was going to do, like, because I knew it was, like, a human inside, growing inside me. I knew I was going to kill it, because I always used to joke and say, like, if I ever got pregnant, I was going to get rid of it, but, like, I really am against abortion, so I'm just, like, in my head, I'm already had it made up, like, I'm going to just keep the baby, and I'm going to just have to do what I gotta do to take care of my baby, and that's going to be that. So, then she like, did you tell your mom or dad? And I'm like, no. So that's the part where I start getting like real nervous. So the pregnancy test was up. I took them back upstairs, or whatever case may be. No, they was downstairs. No, I took him back upstairs, and I had him sitting in his room, in the room. I put it back in the box. I put him in the room. So he was like, "Let me. I'm about to go tell my mom." So I'm on the phone with my friends, laying on the couch, sweating to death, scared, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Cause if she called me upstairs, I'm not going, cause I'm not gonna know what to say. No." So he like, "I'm gonna tell her." So he went in her room. I guess he told her whatever. I thought she was gonna come downstairs like mad, stuff like that. But she was like, I guess she told him like she already had a feeling or whatever. But she didn't want to ask me because his uncles and them was there or whatever. So then they was upstairs laughing or whatever. And the whole time I'm downstairs nervous, scared to death. His mom gonna be mad and all that other stuff. And the whole time she upstairs happy as day. Then he called his dad. His dad was happy or whatever case may be. Or whatever, his family was happy. So then my sister was like, I'm like, well, how am I gonna tell? Like, I already knew that my mom and dad wouldn't be mad at me. Like, my dad, more so, I know he wasn't gonna be mad, but he was gonna be disappointed. More so because it was just like, oh, God. It more so was like, damn. Yeah, it was more so like, I don't know. Like, I don't know why. My dad is, like, in the military. Or was in the military. And any little look or face or the change of his voice scares me. I am 20 years old, and it still scares me to this day. So I just thought, like, he was going to be, like, real mad at me. It was, like, alright, so I ended up telling my mom because it was, like, 5:30, or it was, like, 5:30, 6:30 in the morning, and y'all, I could not sleep because I was so hungry because I didn't eat for 2 days. I didn't eat for 2 days, damn near 3, because I didn't have no appetite. I couldn't eat nothing. Everything was nasty. Everything stank. And I just was, like, so upset. And this man is in the bed laying next to me, knocked out, snoring, sleeping peacefully. And I was upset. So I started crying. And I had texted my mom, and I was like, Mom, you up? Because on Facebook Messenger, for some reason, we have phones, but we always video chat each other. So, and she have Android, and I got iPhone. So I had to FaceTime her on the Facebook Messenger. And I'm like, no, I texted her first. It said that she was active 7 minutes ago. So I texted her, like, Mom, you up? She was like, yeah, why? And I'm like, mind y'all, he lived in Delaware. I was staying in Delaware with him. My mom lives in, like, the county area or whatever. I was staying with him. So I texted her, I'm like, I gotta tell you something. She was like, what? With the eyes. So I'm like, I always knew my mom, like, my mom, because my mom, like, really a cool mom for her. It's just, like, I always knew that she wouldn't be mad at me because I did everything they asked me to do. I was working. I graduated high school. I got my diploma. Walked across the street. I did everything they asked me to do. So there's nothing really more that they could say. So I texted her and I was like, I'm actually using my phone to record right now, so I can't even pull up the messages. But I texted her and I was like, she tried to say I beat around the bush, but I didn't beat around the bush. I basically was like, so I took a pregnancy test. I took multiple pregnancy tests or whatever the case may be. They all came back positive. I'm just saying this to say that I'm pregnant or whatever. So then she like, oh, okay. And then more so, like I said, everybody thought I was going to be the one not to be pregnant. So she just was like, at that time, it was 6:30 in the morning. So she like, oh, okay, whatever. And I'm like, she like, what you crying for? I called her. She like, what are you crying for? I'm like, I can't sleep. He's sleeping peacefully or whatever. Like, I was really upset because he was sleeping peacefully. I was hungry and I couldn't sleep. So then she was like, well, wake his ass up. And I'm like, he not going to get up. Like, he not going to get up. He's still going to be asleep. So then she was like, did you tell your dad? And I was like, no. No, 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 and no. I did not tell my dad. So, if y'all know my mom, y'all know my mom can't hold water to save her life. Yeah, I'm out of breath. But my mom can't hold water to save her life. she gotta tell somebody. I told her, don't tell nobody, right? So I told her she could tell my one aunt, because I tell my aunt everything or whatever. So she told my aunt later on that day, but she like, want me to tell your dad? And I'm like, in my head I'm like, yeah, but then he probably gonna be mad because he found out from you and not me, or whatever the case may be. So she was like, I'm like, and then he gonna be mad at me. And then she like, well, it's life, it happens. It wasn't like, I mean, she was like, it was bound to happen. Y'all sleep in the same bed every night, and y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all don't read Bible scriptures. She was trying to be smart. I'm pretty sure y'all don't read Bible scriptures every night, or whatever the case may be. So then she texted my dad. She texted my dad and was like, you got another grandbaby on the way. But she didn't say like who. She didn't say me, or she didn't say my little brother, or whatever. And he know my older sister not having no kids, and my oldest brother already got a son, or whatever. So my dad was like, he didn't respond fast enough. So then she called him, because at this time he getting up and getting ready, probably on his way to work. So then she called him because he didn't respond fast enough, and was like, you know, you got another grandbaby on the way. And I guess he was like who or which one or whatever. He figured it was me. So then later on that day, it was like probably like 3 something, and he was being all nice. Like he ran me a bath, like lit candles and all that, being nice, because I wasn't feeling good. And then my mom called me while I was in the bathtub, and she was like, it was like 3:30, and she was like, it really just dawned on me that you said you was pregnant, that you having a baby. Like, Maya really having a baby? And I just was like, yeah, it still don't sit right with me, but yeah. And then she was like, did you talk to your dad? And I was like, no. So just so happened that when I hung up the phone with her, my dad called me while I was in the tub. And y'all, I'm in the tub sweating my butt off. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I answered the phone. I'm like, hello? He's like, hello? He was like, what you doing? And I was like, I'm in the tub. And he was like, you know why I'm calling you, right? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, what'd I tell you? And I'm like, he like, didn't I tell you, if you do anything, make sure you use protection, da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah. But y'all, in my head, I wanted to say, mistakes happen. But like, I didn't want to get slapped. So I just was like, in my head, I'm just like, scared to death. So I'm just sitting there like, yeah. So then he like, well, since you in the bathtub, I'm going to call you later. I'm like, okay. So didn't talk to him for like, that was what, on the 23rd? On the 22nd or 23rd of October. Sorry if y'all hear him in the background. He playing the game in the room and he loud. But I think I didn't talk to him for like 3 days. Yeah, it had to be the 22nd or the 23rd. And my little brother's birthday is on the 25th. His 18th birthday was on the 25th of October. So I so happened to see him that day or whatever. So when I pulled up, I didn't want to see him by myself. So I was with my older sister at her house or whatever, cause I helped her do like this little photo shoot or whatever for her lip gloss business. You get with my sister, called Your Aesthetics on IG. I'm gonna put her I'm gonna put her page to her business down below. But yeah, I was with her, so like, he know more so. Y'all, like I said, I'm scared so of my dad. So like, him yelling and all that get me emotional and all that stuff. And I was already not feeling good, and I was nauseous, not eating. And I went with him, and he just was like, he wasn't even upset, y'all. So I overreacted. He wasn't upset. It was a better response than I thought of. He just was like, he looked at me. He was just like, oh, my baby girl really having a baby, like my Maya or whatever. So he was like, what you gonna do? And I was telling him, like, what we said, like, we was getting planned. Like, we was going to start looking for an apartment and stuff like that. Or whatever case may be. Because we really was supposed to be, like, looking at houses and apartments. Or whatever. And then, that was that. Because my dad always was the type, like, he made sure, like, he was always overprotective and honest, because he never wanted us to be 14, 15, 16, 17... and younger, being pregnant and we ain't finished school. We wasn't like, we're not doing nothing with ourselves, nothing like that. So that's why he wasn't that much upset, because he like, you did everything we asked you to do. So it wasn't like my parents wasn't mad, my sisters wasn't mad, my brother wasn't mad. Nobody really was mad at me. I mean, if they was, I really don't care. And if y'all hear that dog, we had a stinking pit bull. He just barks for no reason, because he outside. But yeah, nobody really was mad at me. So that's really how everybody found out. My friends found out. And y'all, I hid it for 5 months. Like, from like the internet and like my friends. I hid it for like 5 months. Was it 5 months? No. Alright, so yeah, I hid it for 5 months. And everybody like on social media and all the rest of my family members found out January 30th at my gender reveal. Once my mom like posted it all over Facebook, and I posted it on Instagram or whatever case may be. Everybody found out like that, and I was getting like congratulations. But of course, you know, you got the few hating ass motherfuckers. They always got to talk shit, whatever. But don't care, because they're not gonna say it to my face. So I really don't care. But that was that, for real, for real. Nobody really was mad. I got a lot of congratulations and stuff. And this stuff y'all see right here, excuse these boxes. My baby shower is next Saturday. So my sister been getting all her damn gifts shipped here, taking up the living room. So yeah, this whole section is like baby stuff for the baby shower. And yeah, so that's basically how I found out I was pregnant, and how I told my siblings and my parents and my friends. If y'all like this video, make sure y'all give the video a thumbs up. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below what video y'all made do next. And we out.